With only a few days before Dial of Destiny comes out, it's time for a retro review. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. Hi, thank you for tuning into the Tom Patelson Show. Yeah, time for a retro review is when I'll start calling these things, for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. I'm doing this because Dial of Destiny comes out and I'm going to see it and I'm going to review it. I'm going to make a video on it because I love Indiana Jones and everything about it, but it got me thinking. I have not seen Crystal Skulls since it first came out in the theater opening week in 2008. That's 15 years ago. I haven't seen it, I haven't talked about it, and like most people, I was bagging on it and bagged on it, but I thought I should give it another look with new eyes so I could see what I think now that time has passed. So this will be a spoiler review. There will be spoilers all over the place. I'm not going to give a regular review. It's been out 15 years. If you haven't seen it by now, you're probably not going to see it. So for those who have lived under a rock, Indiana Jones. Henry Indiana Jones Jr. is an archaeologist and professor who hunts down priceless artifacts, usually to keep them away from the Nazis. And here is a timeline of those films in chronological order and the years of their release, because there's one little flip-flop prequel. Other than that, they usually fall in order. So they hunt down religious artifacts, and in the first three movies, they hunt down the Ark of the Covenant, where the Ten Commandments are kept. They hunt down the Holy Grail, which caught the blood of Christ at the crucifixion and was used at the Last Supper, and the Sankara stones from Temple of Doom, which are not based on a real thing, although they are based on Shiva lingams that are common throughout India. I hope I said that word correctly. So, Crystal Skulls. Crystal Skulls occurs after World War II, and we've swapped the Nazis for a KGB-run Soviet Union, and now we're hunting alien artifacts. And I gotta tell you, I was down for that. I love Ancient Aliens and the Crystal Skull things and the Roswell incident. I love all that crap. I'm big on that. I was big on that. So, I thought I'd do this review by listing the pros and cons of what I liked and what I didn't. I learned this in college while studying psychology, which was my minor, that when you're giving people criticism, you should knock them down first, then pick them up. When you're instructing someone, don't leave them with the sense of what they messed up on. Tell them that first, and then tell them what they did that was good, so they want to come back and receive more instruction or get more criticism. So you knock them down first, then you pick them up. So first of all, the cons. Okay, the flip-floppy sidekick played by Ray Winston, who works for the good guys, then the bad guys, then the good guys, then the bad guys, then for himself, and the end he winds up stealing for himself. And suddenly, I just don't care anymore. Annoyance at the Ray Winston character, and I love him. He's great. He's a great actor. Yeah, annoyance. The bad Russian accents and the dialogue, which is straight from Moose and Squirrel, and people saying things like, "How you say, Dr. Jones, in English?" Bad stereotype? Yeah, bad. They're very mustache twirly villains, the bad Russian accents and bad Russian dialogue. The comedy in this one seems forced. I've got no other way to put that. The other ones, the comedy comes kind of naturally to Indiana Jones, but for this one it seems kind of forced. Like the moments in Last Crusade between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery is wonderful and it works really well, but this one I can't explain it of why I felt like the jokes were like just added as opposed to being a part of the story for me. Okay, this is the big one. The setting. It is set in 1957 and every scene, specifically the college scene, there isn't a single solitary hair out of place. It is bright and shiny and plastic and phony, and my goodness, Shia LaBeouf appears as Mutt Williams, and he later turns out to be the long-lost son of Indy and Marion Ravenwood, and he appears in a shining, gleaming motorcycle and a shiny leather jacket with the Marlon Brando hat, and there isn't a scratch on him. He's got a bright white t-shirt. He's supposed to be the ruffian who skipped school because he's just too cool for it and he's ready to go out and live on his own. He carries a switchblade. Not a hair out of place, not a mark on him, not a scratch. Whereas the other movies are dirty and grimy and dusty and sweaty. And in Crystal Skulls, it felt like a television show. It looked a little too perfect that nobody seemed to be messy at all. Like it was all just a little too period perfect, which makes it look phony, like I'm watching Happy Days. Okay. Harrison Ford's performance. Only in regard to finding he has a son and the return of the love of his life when Marion comes back. He acted a little giddy for me, and I thought that was out of place for Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones. I thought the giddy act was a little put upon and didn't seem real. It seemed out of place for me, and it didn't fit. That's a minor con, but that is a con, Harrison Ford's performance, just in that. And now for the pros. Harrison Ford's performance. Doing everything else. I have no other notes for Indiana Jones. I mean, really, he's Harrison Ford, and I love everything he does. He's not flawless by any means, but you can always count on him to be perfectly Harrison Ford. No issues with Harrison Ford other than him being giddy. The action. The action is fun, and it never stops. There's lots of action in it, and sure, the swinging through the trees is bad, and the anthill scenes are bad, but what do you want? What do you really want out of Indiana Jones? Come on, just buy in. Buy in, you will get a much better ride if you just buy in and all that stuff. The aliens connection. I love all that crap. Oh, and Indiana Jones being brought in as one of the original scientists being blindfolded to witness the Roswell crash. That's great. That's perfect. I love all that crap. I love all of that. Yay. Yay for the aliens connection. Keeping current with the villain. Swapping out the Nazis for the KGB works perfectly for the timeline. Now, yes, the dialogue is bad, the accents are bad, but choosing them as your baddies is good, you know, for the timeline. And as a Gen X kid, we feared the Soviets from way back when, and all the movies from James Bond to Red Dawn to War Games and on. They were the childhood's big baddie. So choosing them was good. That is a pro. And lastly, for me, seeing Karen Allen again. Just cause. So to wrap it up, the review, I think we were really, really hard on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. Some of it is deserved, but I think we were spoiled, and we have been spoiled by Spielberg and Lucas, and we came down really hard on this one. And I love the people who said, like, really, bro? Aliens? Is that what it is now? We were supposed to believe that crap. Meanwhile, they have no problem with the 872-year-old knight being alive, or the ghostly vapors emerging from the Ark, which melts faces and explodes heads, and the secret to not being exploded or melted is just not to look at them. Come on. Buy in. Buy in on it, and you will love it. Aliens makes perfect sense, especially bringing in Indiana Jones, the archaeologist, to investigate. Makes perfect sense. I think that fits like a glove. So now that I've watched it again, it is still last for me in the current running order. Nothing has changed for that. It is still, for me, Raiders, Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, and then Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. But we will see how that order changes after my review of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Hey, it's been a while since I've done a shout out. This is a shout out to Jace Brown 5580 who commented on KO the Knockout and I's video on our top 10 buddy movies, and he said, "What do you guys think of Tequila Sunrise? Could have made the list for sure." That's from 1988. Mel Gibson, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Kurt Russell. I haven't seen that in quite a while, but my memory is that they weren't buddies. Mel and Kurt weren't buddy-buddy in the movie. They both had similar ideas of what they wanted to get. Then Michelle Pfeiffer was in the center. There's this, you know, triangle plot, but I don't remember that being a buddy movie. But I'm gonna give that another watch. I'll go back, Chase, and give that a watch and see how that goes. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate that. But that will do it. Thank you for tuning in for my retro review of Indiana Jones, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, or Indy 4, as I've been calling it. My review of Dial of Destiny will come out soon. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and hit that notification bell to let you know when my stuff drops. Usually it drops on Sunday. We'll get together and talk about the nerdy stuff that we love, movies and television and board games and. Until I see you next time, as always, peace, love, live long, and prosper. And I mean it.